Recording in progress.
Good morning. Morning. Hello. Good morning. You can start writing the answers. Yes, you turn on the videos and start writing the answers. Yes, have you finished? Yes, hands up those who are still writing. No one. One, two. Once I start the discussion, you have to turn on the video. Alright, shall we move on to the next one? Hope you all have finished. හරිනේ? යමුද ඊළඟ එකට? Part D. Done now? Fine. We discuss then. Turn on your videos. Yes, quickly. Turn on the videos. Only 4 of you are visible. Sorry. Right. So today actually I didn't share the O-level past paper questions. These are from past test papers. Yes, Andrea, Sanuka, Dinut, Ahasna, Netumi, Metmi. Right. So here it says rough diagrams of some organisms are given below. Answer the questions by referring the diagrams. So first of all, you have to identify the given organisms, right? So what is this? First one? Yes, by looking at the shape, you can identify that it is. Yes. How the medusa? Yes, that is the protozoan. What is the name? Yananda. Yes, that is paramecium, right? This one which is having the shape of a sole of a shoe. That is paramecium. You know that it is a protozoan. Then the second one seems to be a bacterium, right? Bacterial cell, right? So that is bacteria. Mm, then R is the reproductive structure of a fungal variety, that is the mushroom. S is the starfish, which is an echinodermate. And T is chlamydomonas, the one which is having the cup-shaped chloroplast. Chlamydomonas, which is an algal variety. Harida, so you have to identify them first. Write the relevant domains of G and S organisms respectively. G or Q? It should be Q, right? Q and S organisms respectively. Q and S. Domain. Yes, what are the three domains? දැන් අර ඔයගොල්ලෝ මං සමහර දාට තියරි පාර්ට් එකක් මතක් කරන් දැන් අද මේ ප්‍රශ්න තුනෙන් තියරි පාර්ට්ස් ගොඩක් මතක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Yes. What are the 3 domains කියන්න?
Domain archaea, domain bacteria, and domain eukarya.
Yes, domain archaea, bacteria and eukarya. එතකොට Q is a bacterium, therefore it belongs to domain bacteria, and S is an animal, invertebrate, and they belong to domain eukarya, right? Domain bacteria and domain eukarya. Write 2 letters of relevant organisms that participate in the formation of lichens. 2 letters of relevant organisms. Yes, for the formation of lichens, you know it is a symbiotic relationship in between whom?
Fungi and plantae.
Fungi and
Algae.
algae. Fungi and algae. So they ask for the letters, not this particular fungi, but it represent the fungal group, kingdom fungi. Therefore, R and T, algae, right? It is a symbiotic relationship in between fungi and algae. Sometimes instead of algae, there may be cyanobacteria as well, right? And lichens is a symbiotic relationship in between fungi and algae. Which letter represents the photoautotrophic organism? Photoautotrophic, that is because you know they specifically mention photoautotrophic because some bacteria are chemoautotrophic. Matakada? Autotrophs can be divided into 2 categories, photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs, right? Chemoautotrophs are the organisms who can produce their own food by using the energy of a chemical reaction, right? Energy of a chemical reaction is used by chemoautotrophs. Photoautotrophs use the energy of light for the synthesis of food. And photoautotrophic organism is T. Which letter presents the organism that has evolutionary relationship with phylum Chordata? Who has evolutionary relationships with chordates? No? Echinodermata. Yes, echinodermates have evolutionary relationships with chordates. That is S. Echinodermata. And just turn on the video, unmute and give the answers. Then you will get the benefit. You will get the benefit. Write one special feature in the body of above 4 mentioned organism. Special feature in this one, echinodermates, especially the starfish. What is the special feature? Presence of
Water-vascular system.
As this is an Methuji, you also mentioned pentaradial symmetry, right? Is it? Methuji.
Water-vascular system.
Presence of a water vascular system, yes. Then අපෙන් අහන්නේ special feature in the body. එතකොට we can say pentaradial symmetry, even water vascular system, presence of tube feet. Right? These are special features in that phylum. Right? Presence of a water vascular system, presence of tube feet, ඊළඟට presence of pentaradial symmetry. Hari. That is part A. Then B. An organism that genetically identical to the mother plant is known as a clone. Which artificial vegetative propagation method is widely used to obtain clones of potatoes? Artificial vegetative propagation method used in plants is tissue culture, right? That is tissue culture. Cloning, we use the term clone specifically for animals, but here the method is the same. Cloning method used in plants is tissue culture. Name the nutrient that should be included in the culture medium. So what do we include in the culture medium which is made out of agar? Anadane. Yes. Yes, Netumi. What should be included in the culture medium? Yes. Anyone else? Amadi?
Sucrose and mineral salts.
Yes, sucrose should be added. Yes, Hasna and Manuti. Sucrose. Sucrose is added as a nutrient, and in addition to that, they have to add certain vitamins as well as growth substances. Yes. එතකොට මෙතන අහන්නේ nutrient නේ. Therefore, we can say sucrose. Then one advantage of this vegetative propagation method as the advantages of tissue culture. Yes. Manada. What are the advantages of tissue culture? Yes, Chenita. Advantages of tissue culture.
Able to get more plants from same mother plant.
The ability to produce large number of offsprings by using a single mother plant. Right, the ability to produce large number of offsprings. Anything else, Tessini? Janadi says ability to obtain a large number of offsprings in a short period of time. Correct. Yes. Yes, Tessini. Sanuka says can produce a plant similar to the mother plant. Okay, so you'd better to say similar to the mother plant you'd better to say the ability to produce identical offsprings which are similar to the mother plant. Yes, genetically identical as well as they are similar to the mother plant. The ability to produce drought resistant varieties by using when tissue culture and genetic engineering both are combined. Large number of identical plants in a short period of time. Yes, Netumi. Hari. And then a requirement of a limited space at the beginning. We need to produce thousands of plants. We need a limited space. But the disadvantage is there should be controlled conditions and we have to use a special type of technology there. Hari. Then part C. The diagram given below shows the lower epidermal cells observed through the light microscope. Name A and B of above diagram. So A is the guard cell, B is the stomata or the stomatal pore. Since it is singular, we can say stoma. Right? A is the guard cell, B stomatal pore. Or else stoma. What is the function of B? The stomatal opening controls the entry and exit of the gases, allowing the gaseous exchange, allowing the exchange of gases. And also during transpiration, the loss of water also happens to stomatal openings, allowing the gaseous exchange. Name the organelle that present in A but absent in C. C is a normal epidermal cell. But absent in C, and write the special process performed by that organelle. In guard cells we find chloroplasts but not in the epidermal cells. So the organelle is chloroplast. The function is photosynthesis. Yes, Sesandi. Function is photosynthesis. Write above process in a balanced chemical equation. So you are supposed to write the balanced chemical equation for photosynthesis. 6CO2 plus 6H2O in the presence of light energy and chlorophyll. You obtain C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Okay, this is the balanced chemical equation. Light and chlorophyll, these are essential. Write the name of tissue that transport water for the above process and write one type of cell present in that tissue. The type of the tissue is xylem. There are 4 types of cells. What are the types of cells in the xylem tissue? Yes? Oh?
Xylem parenchyma.
Xylem parenchyma.
Xylem vessel element.
Xylem vessel elements. Yes, Janudi. Then?
Trachea.
Yes? Tracheids. Okay. Another one? Xylem
Fiber.
fiber. Xylem fiber. The sclerenchyma. Number 6, a diagram of very important cell found in the body of vertebrates is given below. That is a neuron, right? Actually, this is a motor neuron. What is the name of the above given cell? We call it as the neuron. Neuron. Name A, B, C and D in the above diagram. So A is the nucleus, right? So the arrowhead is somewhere here. And for B, it is somewhere here. So A is the nucleus and B is the cell body. B is the cell body. C is the axon and D is the myelin sheath, right? C is the myelin sheath, D is the axon. D is the axon. What is the use of covering D by C? Yes, the axon is covered by the myelin sheath that increases the rate of nerve impulse transmission. Increases the rate of nerve impulse transmission. Okay. Hari. Then question number 2. The diagram shows some reactions taking place between magnesium metal and the solutions, as well as reactions among the solutions. Hari. These reactions are named as A, B, C and D. Write the letter of relevant reaction which emits the gas that turns the lime water into milky color. Emits lime water into milky. Write the letter of the relevant reaction. Yes. Lime water turns into milky due to the presence of carbon dioxide. Right, when hydrochloric acid reacts with calcium carbonate, it releases carbon dioxide. That is one of the methods that we use in the laboratory to produce carbon dioxide gas. During acid rains also the same thing happens. Carbon dioxide is evolved because calcareous structures react with that acidic medium, evolving carbon dioxide. Method මොනවද products එන්නේ? The මතක් වෙන්න ඕනේ products ටික. Calcium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. Now the reaction is D. Which letter represents the reaction that produces hydrogen gas? Hydrogen gas is produced by the reaction in between magnesium and hydrochloric acid. The salt of the metal, magnesium chloride, MgCl2 and hydrogen are produced. C. Which solutions will produce a salt and water as products when they react? Which solutions will produce a salt and water? When magnesium and copper sulfate react, magnesium sulfate and copper, there is no water formation. Here magnesium chloride and hydrogen, no water. Here calcium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. Which solutions produce salt and water as products? HCl and sodium hydroxide. These two also produce sodium chloride and water. Salt and water only කියලාත් නැහැනේ, only තිබ්බනම් අපිට මේ දෙන්න විතරක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්, HCl and sodium hydroxide. මෙතනත් හැදෙනවා. ඒ නිසා you can write කමක් නැහැ, HCl and sodium hydroxide or HCl and calcium carbonate you can write, because the salt calcium chloride is also a salt and water are produced. ලියන HCl and NaOH. A reddish brown color precipitate was deposited during one of the above reactions. What are the reactants of that reaction? Magnesium and copper sulfate. Magnesium and copper sulfate react, forming magnesium sulfate and copper. Because magnesium is more reactive than copper, therefore magnesium has got the ability to displace copper. Right? Write the balanced chemical equation: magnesium plus copper sulfate, magnesium sulfate and copper. This is a single displacement reaction. Copper is displaced. According to nature of chemical change, to which type of chemical change does it belong? Single displacement reaction. Single displacement reaction. Then write two strategies to increase the rate of reaction of that. Yes, two strategies to increase the rate of the reaction. Another. We can increase the concentration of copper sulfate solution. We
Surface
can use,
area.
yes. To increase the surface area, we can use magnesium in the powder form. Using magnesium in the powder form, increasing the concentration of copper sulfate, increasing the temperature of the reaction mixture, and increasing the temperature of the reaction mixture. Hari. දැන් ගොඩක් දේවල් මතක් කරගන්න පුළුවන් once you write the answers for these questions. එතකොට අර අමතක නම් just note them down. I have to revise these parts කියලා තියාගන්න. හරි ඉක්මනට කාලේ ගෙවිලා යනවා. දැන් O level science paper එක ලියුවේ last Wednesday. දැන් A level classes ගැන අහනවා සමහර. Most of them have found problems with biology. කීප දෙනෙක්ම අහලා තියෙනවා මේ English medium biology there is a lack of teachers කියලා they say. They asked me to recommend someone. Actually it is difficult to recommend. දැන් මම recommend කරන එක නවත්තලා තියෙන්නේ. Even for O levels, in A levels it is very critical, right, to recommend someone. O levels වලත් ඉතින් දන්නේ නැහැනේ. If you can remember, I started the other subjects also. මොකද ගොඩාක් අය දැන් science වලට ආවහම අහනවා අනිත් subjects වලට කවුරුත් දන්නේ නැද්ද කියලා. ඒ නිසායි අර දන්න අය එකතු කරලා එහෙම එකක් ආදන්න බැලුවේ. හැබැයි it is so difficult because අර අපි කරන අපේ expectation එකට හැමෝම කරන්නේ නැහැ නේ. එක්කෙනාගේ schedules වෙනස්. ඒ නිසා it is very difficult to recommend someone. මේක අර class ගිය කාගෙන් හරි අහලා එහෙම තමයි හොයාගන්න වෙන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ටත් ඔය ප්‍රශ්නේ තව ටික දවසකින්. Ammonia gas is produced by reacting hydrogen with ammonia. Reacting ammonia gas is produced by reacting hydrogen with ammonia and nitrogen, right? It is important for the production of fertilizer. You know that nitrogen and hydrogen are reacted together in order to produce ammonia, right? Draw a Lewis dot cross diagram for ammonia. You know, nitrogen has 5 valence electrons and 2 act as lone pairs. Dot cross diagram should be something like this. What type of chemical bonds exist in ammonia? Mana bonds covalent bonds are there. So now if you balance the equation, sorry, no 2 here. 2NH3 එතකොට 2N 2N 6 hydrogen කියන්නේ 3H2 here. Right. 44 grams of carbon dioxide is dissolved in 360 grams of water under high pressure. Calculate the number of water moles in the mixture. Water is H2O. You know the relative molecular mass is 18. Then you are asked to find the number of moles equals mass divided by the molar mass. So the mass of water is given as 360 grams. The molar mass of water is 18 grams per mole, right? 18 grams per mole. Therefore, the number of moles equals 20 moles, right? 20 moles. Calculate the number of carbon dioxide moles in the mixture. Number of carbon dioxide moles. Once again, for carbon dioxide, we can say number of moles equals mass divided by molar mass. Carbon dioxide, the molar mass is 44, right? Carbon 12, oxygen 16, 16 into 2, 32. So the number of moles equals mass of carbon dioxide is given as 44 grams. Molar mass 44 grams per mole. Therefore, there is only 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Express the composition of water as a mole fraction. So, total number of moles is 21. 20 plus 1. Total number of moles. Number of moles of water is 20. 20 over 21 is the mole fraction of water. What type of mixture is this? Homogeneous or heterogeneous? It is dissolved under high pressure. What type of a mixture is it? අපි කතා කළේ open soda bottle, closed soda bottle කියලා. In a closed soda bottle, carbon dioxide is dissolved in water under a high pressure. Then it is a homogeneous mixture. එනවා කියන්න පුළුවන් gas liquid homogeneous mixture. Gas liquid homogeneous mixture. Once the bottle is opened, that pressure is released. එතකොට gas gets separated. Then it becomes a heterogeneous mixture. නේද? So මෙතෙන්ට answer එක වෙන්න ඕනේ gas liquid homogeneous mixture. One of the method of separating components in a mixture is shown in the diagram. So you know this is simple distillation, right? Simple distillation. Write the name of the separating method, that is simple distillation. Name of P and Q equipment. P is the Liebig condenser. Q is the round bottom flask. Round bottom flask. One application of the method, purification of water or production of distilled water. Production of distilled water. At the extraction of pure water from salt water. Marine water, sea water. Obtaining pure water from sea water.
Teacher, what is the answer for first?
First one, simple distillation. Then setup එක දැකපු ගමන් පේන්න ඕනේ මේ this is a simple structure, only a round bottom flask is there. It is being heated and it is being condensed by using the Liebig condenser, and here it says something it's getting collected. So this is simple distillation. හරි නේද? මම මේ questions ටික තෝරගන්න හේතුවත් ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩක් දේවල් මතක් කරන්න පුළුවන් නිසා. හරි. Third one. Anilian, we have only half an hour. Write and discuss both. Test finished. Okay, let's check. ABC is a running track with a length of 200 meters. AC is a linear running track with a length of 100 meters. So ABC is a running track with a length of 200 meters. ABC. This stretch is 200 meters and AC is 100 meters. Student X started the race at point A and took 25 seconds to run 200 meters through the point B. That is for X. Then student Y started the race at the same time from the point A, took 20 seconds to reach point C straightly. Can this on 200 meters and this is only 100 meters. Calculate the average speed of X. For X we can't talk about a velocity because it is not a linear pathway. Therefore average speed total. So you have to write the equation average speed equals total distance divided by time. Total distance divided by time. So distance is 200 meters. The time taken is 25 seconds. So that is 8 ms minus 1. 8 ms minus 1. What is the displacement of y? Displacement of y, that is 100 meters, right? From A to C, 100 meters. Then calculate the velocity of t it should be y, right? Velocity of y. So you know velocity equals displacement divided by time. Displacement is 100 meters and the time taken is given as 20 seconds. Therefore that is 5 ms minus 1. Plot the velocity time graph for the motion of y. So time taken to x-axis, velocity to y-axis. Then he has travelled in a uniform velocity. Student Y started the race at the same time from the point A and took 20 seconds to reach point C straightly. Plot the velocity time graph for the motion of Y. Calculate the momentum of Y if his mass is 50 kilograms. So considering that it is a uniform velocity, we have to say that within 20 seconds, he had travelled distance of 100 meters. So we have calculated that the velocity is 5 ms minus 1 at the end of 20 seconds. So this is the graph. Name the axis, put the values. Within 20 seconds, he obtained a velocity of 5 ms minus 1. Calculate the momentum. We know P equals mv. Mass is given as 50. Velocity is 5. Therefore, that is 250 kg ms minus 1. kg ms minus 1. 250. මෙතන අර අමාරුකමක් නෑ මේ අද කතා කරපු ප්‍රශ්නවල but a wide range of subject matter can be revised නේද? එක දෙයක් නෙමෙයි හැම ගොඩක් පැති මතක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. The diagram given below shows the way that a student applied the force to open a gate. Calculate the moment of force effect on point P. Yes, he had applied a force of 100 Newton. The perpendicular distance in between the axis of rotation or the point P a point of rotation to the line of action of the force is 1.5 meters. Therefore, the moment equals F into D, right? F into D. Force is 100 Newton. The distance is 1.5 meters. So that is Yes, kiyada 150 Newton meters. 150 Newton meters. Right, one strategy that can be applied to reduce the fraction of P and Q. Fraction and friction and only. One strategy that can be applied to reduce the friction of P and Q. Right? Friction. You can say applying oil or grease. Right? Applying something like oil or grease. Hari. State common feature of couple of forces. Couple of forces, this is not couple of forces. Couple of forces are applied in the case of steering wheel, opening and closing of a lid of a bottle, opening or closing of a tap, right? Couple of forces. There you know, in the case of couple of forces, there are two similar forces, equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. The magnitude of the two forces are equal. They are opposite in direction. They are parallel to each other. And they are coplanar. Two coplanar කියන්න පුළුවන්. Parallel forces, equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. Right? Couple of forces. හරිද? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. Shall I erase? Motion of a tire due to applied force is shown in the diagram. Mark the place that friction is acting on the tire in a rough diagram on your answer sheet. Hari. So when the tire is moving towards this direction, the place where the friction is applied is the place where the tire is in contact with the ground. Right? That is where the friction is applied. Then they are using a stick or something in order to apply the force. එතනත් පොඩි friction එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්, but basically when it is in contact with the ground, when it is moving, mark the place of friction is acting on the tire. So the place එක තමයි mark කරන්න කියන්නේ. So you can mark this place and also even this place. The friction can be applied. The way that the forces are acting on two objects are shown in the diagram. So here these are coplanar forces, parallel forces. Then here these are angular forces. Angular forces are shown. What is the resultant force acting on the object 100 Newton this way, 400 Newton and 300 Newton to the opposite direction. Altogether 500 Newton to this direction minus 300 Newton to the opposite direction. Therefore, it is 200 Newton this way. Right? The diagram 2 shows the way that two angular forces are acting on an object. Mark the direction of the resultant force on the drawn diagram. You know, in the case of angular forces, the resultant force is acting in between the two forces, right? In between the two forces, and it will be much more closer to the greater force. So you have to mark the resultant force like that, because we can see that this force is x කියලා තියෙන්නේ. එන්නම සමානයිද? If both forces are similar, it should act in between, no? එකක් වැඩි නම් the resultant will be close to that. මෙතන x කියලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? Therefore, since the two forces are equal, the resultant should act in between. Like that. Give one example for an object stay in equilibrium under three forces. එතකොට three parallel forces වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, three non-parallel forces. Both are correct. Three parallel forces, you can say a tube light hanging by two chains or two wires like this. එහෙම නැත්නම් a bench with two legs. අපි කතා කළේ examples. ඊළඟට non-parallel නම් photograph or a picture hanging on the wall. ඔගේ එකක් ඇඳලා පෙන්නුවා නම් වැඩිය clear නේද? Three forces. එතකොට එතෙන්දි මතක් කරගන්න දැන් අපි how to calculate මෙතන lessons දෙකක් තියෙනවා මේ last part එකේ resultant force and equilibrium of an object under forces. What are the requirements? Collinear forces. Swing එකේදී two forces ද තියෙන්නේ. කමක් නැහැ. swing එකේ ropes දෙකක් තිබුණොත් හරි. එතකොට ඔයා කියන්න ඕනේ එතන swing with two ropes කියලා. සමහර ඒවා මෙහෙම ඇවිල්ලා හතරක් වෙන වෙලාවලුත් තියෙනවා. එතකොට swing එක මෙහෙම නම් it's okay. The weight is acting downwards. Tension. හරිද? එතකොට better to draw and show in those cases. හරිද? එතකොට what are the requirements for an object to be balanced under coplanar ඉස්සලම collinear forces ඊළඟට coplanar parallel coplanar non-parallel ඊළඟට angular forces ඔය lessons දෙකම මතක් කරගන්න මෙන්න මේ question එක ගත්තහම හරිද එහෙම තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් පාඩම් කරන්න ඕනේ question එකක් ආවා පොඩ්ඩක් අමතකයි කියලා දැනනවා what are the requirements අන්න notes අරගෙන ආයි මතක් කරගන්න that should be the way right එහෙම හැම සතියකම එහෙම කරන්න එතකොට දන්නේම නැතුව අන්තිම වෙද්දී ඔයගලන්ට ගොඩාක් දේවල් මතකයේ තියෙනවා. හරි ලේසි. එතකොට ඔක්තෝබර් වගේ වෙද්දී it is very easy for you to revise the rest of the things. හැමදාම apply වෙලා තියෙනවා. හරි. එහෙනම් since the time has passed we'll stop there for today. We are having the theory class at 10. Today I will continue until 1 because last week we missed 15 minutes since I got a power failure. එනිසා අද අපි 1 වගේ වෙනකම් කරමු මේ හරි paper class is on next Saturday. Today we have the theory class, right? Stay safe and have a nice day.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher. Good.
Thank you.